The courtroom was abuzz on December 23, 2024. All eyes were on Luigi Mangione, a young man accused of a shocking crime. He stood accused of the murder of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. The air crackled with tension as Mangione uttered a simple but powerful plea, not guilty. This marked the beginning of a legal battle that would captivate the nation. Mangione's case, shrouded in allegations of corporate greed and a broken healthcare system, promised to be anything but ordinary. This wasn't just about one man and one alleged crime, it was about a system that many felt had failed them. Mangione's plea was a spark that ignited a wildfire of debate. Was he a cold-blooded killer, or was he a desperate soul pushed to the brink by a system that seemed rigged against the average person? The answers, it seemed, were far from clear. The charges against Luigi Mangione were staggering. In the state of New York, he faced a multitude of charges. Among the most serious was first-degree murder, a charge that could carry a life sentence. He was also charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, along with a string of weapon and forgery charges. But the legal troubles didn't end there. The federal government also had Mangione in its crosshairs. Federal prosecutors slapped Mangione with a slew of charges, including murder through the use of a firearm. They also charged him with stalking and various firearms offenses. The federal charges, if he was convicted, could result in the most severe punishment of all, the death penalty. The weight of these charges, both state and federal, was immense. Mangione, once a promising young man, now faced the very real possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars or facing execution. The prosecution's case against Luigi Mangione hinged on a collection of damning evidence. At the heart of their case was a 3-dimensional printed pistol and silencer. This wasn't just any firearm, it was a chilling symbol of technological innovation used for a sinister purpose. The markings on the shell casings found at the crime scene, deny, defend, and depose, seemed to speak to a deep-seated anger towards the insurance industry. But the physical evidence was just one piece of the puzzle. Investigators uncovered a treasure trove of information in a notebook that belonged to Mangione. The notebook was a window into his thoughts, his plans, and his growing resentment. Entries detailed his meticulous planning, revealing a disturbing level of premeditation. The notebook also laid bare Mangione's animosity towards the health insurance industry and wealthy executives like Brian Thompson. He saw them as symbols of greed and oppression. The notebook, with its chilling entries, painted a picture of a man consumed by anger and driven to extreme measures. On the surface, Luigi Mangione seemed like an unlikely candidate for such a violent act. He came from a privileged background, a far cry from the image of a hardened criminal. He excelled in school, graduating at the top of his class, and went on to attend a prestigious Ivy League university. But beneath this veneer of success, a darker narrative was unfolding. Mangione's writings and online activity revealed a deep-seated resentment towards the healthcare system. He saw it as a rigged game, where corporations profited at the expense of ordinary people. He railed against what he perceived as corporate greed and the growing disparity between the haves and the have-nots. This anger, fueled by personal experiences and a sense of injustice, festered within him. Investigators believe that this resentment, coupled with his meticulous planning, ultimately led Mangione down a dark path. Section 5. A divided public. The case of Luigi Mangione sent shockwaves through the nation, igniting a firestorm of debate. Outside the courthouse, a divided public made their voices heard. Protesters, fueled by anger and frustration, rallied in support of Mangione. They carried signs that read, "People over profit and healthcare is a human right," their chants echoing through the streets. Online, the debate raged on. Social media became a battleground of opinions, with some portraying Mangione as a folk hero, a symbol of resistance against corporate greed. Others condemned his alleged actions, arguing that violence was never the answer. The case became a lightning rod for discussions about healthcare inequality and the role of corporations in society. It was a stark reminder of the deep divisions that existed within the country. Section 6. The Quest for an Impartial Jury. The intense media scrutiny surrounding the case raised concerns about Luigi Mangione's ability to receive a fair trial. His attorney, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, argued that the constant media attention and the presence of high-profile figures, such as Mayor Eric Adams, during Mangione's extradition could prejudice potential jurors. She argued that the court needed to ensure that Mangione's fate was decided by a jury of his peers, not by public opinion. Judge Gregory Caro acknowledged the defense's concerns. He assured them that he would take steps to ensure a fair trial. He vowed to carefully vet potential jurors to weed out any bias. The judge's assurances provided a glimmer of hope that justice, not public opinion, would prevail in the courtroom. Section 7. A united front in law enforcement. The investigation into Brian Thompson's murder was a complex undertaking that required the collaboration of multiple law enforcement agencies. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office took the lead, but they worked closely with federal authorities, including the FBI. This interagency cooperation was crucial in piecing together the events leading up to the shooting. The FBI, with their resources and expertise, assisted the NYPD in tracking down leads that extended beyond New York City. They played a key role in building the federal case against Mangione, using evidence gathered by both NYPD detectives and Pennsylvania police. This seamless collaboration between local and federal authorities highlighted the seriousness of the case and the commitment to bringing those responsible to justice. Section 8. The Ethical Crossroads. The case of Luigi Mangione transcended the confines of a courtroom. It ignited a fierce ethical debate about the limits of protest, the role of violence in enacting change, and the very nature of justice. Some argued that Mangione's alleged actions, however extreme, were a desperate cry for help, a reflection of a system that had failed to address the needs of the many. Others condemned his alleged actions, arguing that violence was never justified, regardless of the cause. They argued that resorting to such extreme measures undermined the very principles of a civilized society. The case became a crucible for examining the complex relationship between individual action, societal ills, and the pursuit of justice. It forced people to confront uncomfortable truths about their own beliefs and the systems they lived in. Section 9. A Call for Reflection. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the case of Luigi Mangione served as a stark reminder of the deep-seated issues plaguing the nation. It laid bare the growing chasm between the haves and the have-nots, the erosion of trust in institutions, and the desperation that many felt. The trial was not just about determining the guilt or innocence of one man, it was about holding a mirror up to society. The case sparked a national conversation about healthcare, corporate responsibility, and the right to protest. It forced people to confront uncomfortable truths about their own beliefs and the systems they lived in. The trial was a reminder that justice is not a spectator sport. It's a call to action, a challenge to build a more just and equitable society for all.